Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be going over episode 3 of She-Hulk on Disney Plus. So let's just get straight into it. So our episode starts off with Blonsky. He's back in jail again, and Jen is obviously talking to him and having a massive go at him about why he escaped, etc., etc. And basically, he starts to slowly explain to her exactly why he escaped and how it happened. And he goes on to basically explain that Wong forced him to leave because he needed him for some experiment, which you saw in the Shang-Chi movie, and basically offered him the chance to basically stay at Carmitage and basically not have to go back to jail. But he goes on to basically explain that it was his decision to come back and serve his time because he didn't want to be a runaway. And then we flip forward a little bit, and Jennifer, as She-Hulk, is in her office talking to her boss, who's asking her to represent an ex-colleague of hers. And in the middle of the conversation, Wong just opens up a portal and shows up in the middle of the office, which then leads to a private conversation between She-Hulk and Wong in her office, and he basically explains the reasons why he took Blonsky, and she basically tells him that, okay, I'm going to need you to come and talk to the parole board to explain this to them. He eventually agrees, which obviously Jennifer is ecstatic about, because now she's going to have, an alibi for why Blonsky left the prison cell in the first place, and she's obviously hoping that that's going to help her case and definitely help Blonsky when it comes to the parole board. So we're at the point now where he's appearing before the parole board now, and he explains that while he's been inside, he's opened up he plans to open up a meditation retreat, which is so weird. I mean, because you remember him from Incredible Hulk. I don't think anyone in their right mind could think for 1 second that he was gonna be some meditator or anything like that. Also, while he's there, he shows them he's got his 8 pen pal women who basically they all incest with him, and they're going to support him when he gets out of jail, and that he's going to be okay. They ask him what he's been doing in jail. He also explains that he's been doing meditation programs while being in prison, and that he is a completely reformed criminal. Jennifer goes through all of her witnesses for his case, and one by one we eventually get down to the final one, which is Wong, and he still hasn't shown up. And just when Jennifer thinks he's not going to show up and all is lost, he literally opens up a portal, shows up, and he gives evidence. And he literally goes on to explain why he took Blonsky in the first place, and it wasn't his fault as to why he left the prison, and that he was very adamant about returning to his cell. Then they go on to ask him, well, how can we be assured that you're not going to turn into Abomination, and cause up loads of damage? In the midst of that, he transforms himself into Abomination, and he explains to them that he has full control over Abomination, and he's literally like talking like Professor Hulk. And when I saw it, I was like, what, when? And it's crazy because it's taken Bruce a long time to get some sort of control over Hulk, and I find it strange that Blonsky has figured it out a lot quicker than him. So now we get to Blonsky's parole hearing. They're gonna come to a decision now, and the TV cameras are all outside and stuff like that. And then they get inside and they give their verdict, and they basically say that he is going to be released under the one condition: he never turns into Abomination ever again. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm pretty certain he's going to turn into Abomination again. It's only a matter of time. I mean, let's be honest. So the time has passed now. He got released, and all of a sudden, She-Hulk's all super famous now, and they've got her on the news and everything. So she goes on the news with this guy, and she's obviously expecting him to ask her some questions about the release. And he literally just asks her the most ridiculous questions ever. And like, they go to the ad break, and I think he's like, after the break, we're going to be talking about She-Hulk's diet. And she's like, what? No, we're not. And she's just like, what the hell is going on? And I think the point they're trying to get across there is that they wouldn't do that if it was a man, and that they're only doing it because she's a woman, so they think that all she cares about is her diet and her looks, and etc, etc. Well, I mean, you can take that as you want. I mean, I got my opinions on it. I'm sure you got your own opinions on the direction that they're going with this show, but let's just move on. So it forwards a little bit into the future for the next bit part, and Jen is walking down the street and she gets attacked by these 4 dudes, and they literally have some sort of Chitauri-ish, powered weapons on them, and they attempt to try and attack her. I think they're trying to get her blood or something, and she gets scared at first, and then she's like, oh, hang on a minute, and then she turns into She-Hulk, pardon me, she turns into She-Hulk and literally kicks the living shit out of them. I mean, hardcore. She dismantles them, and then they get into the car, and it's like, oh man, we can't do it, why is she transformed? And then they call out a boss, and I'm assuming the boss is Jamil's character, who wants to get her blood because she wants her power, which in turn, I'm gonna assume we may get another female Hulk along the lines, because they've done it with the Flash, and they tend to do it all the time with these superpowered characters. They give them, a villain that's got similar powers to them. I personally think it's a bit silly, but it's Hollywood for you. And then basically, the episode finishes not long after that. It ends with a scene in the pub with Adrian Chase from Arrow, her friend, I think her name is Nikki, and Jennifer Walters. It's a very Ally McBeal type of ending of episode, where they've had a rough day, they're all having a drink at the bar, and then the episode ends. Now, we get to the post-credit scene. Now, most post-credit scenes for Disney Plus show aren't that exciting, and neither is this one. This one has caused a lot of stir on the internet. I think you've probably heard about it. So she's in her office, she signs some documents with Megan Thee Stallion, and basically some music starts coming on and start dancing, and then Megan Thee Stallion starts teaching She-Hulk to twerk. It's the most ridiculous scene I think I have ever seen. In fact, it's as ridiculous as the scene from Thor: The Dark World, where Chris Hemsworth's Thor is topless washing his hands. That is worse than this twerking scene. I think that's stupid. Some of the scenes where they've got Chris Hemsworth's top off, they seem pointless. They don't need to be in the film. And it's the same with this twerking scene. They didn't need to be in the series. It's pointless. It's stupid. It's dumb. But, Hollywood seems to think that this is going to get people on seats. So there, guys, that was my breakdown of my favorite parts from it's not my favorite parts, the most memorable parts from episode 3 of She-Hulk. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, if you do, please like the button. If you didn't like it, please hit the dislike button. Doesn't matter to me, helps me either way, helps with engagement. And if you really enjoy my videos as a whole, please click that subscribe button, and don't forget to follow me on TikTok at NickMarvelous1. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.